Good evening everybody, and happy Sunday night to you here on my business page and my regular Sunday night lives here at 8 o'clock. So I'm really looking forward to sharing with you the subject this evening. So if you're coming on, please do say hello. Remember, this is my public business page, so anything that you post on here will be for other people to see. If you want to come and join me in my private group, which is on Facebook, the Divorce and Breakup Support After Narcissistic Abuse, and you're not already in there, hi Luann, please let me know and I can send you the link. We've got over 3,200 women in there now, and it's just such a great community. There's friendships being made. It is really amazing, to be honest, and one of the things that I'm extremely passionate about is for people not to feel alone whilst they're going through narcissistic abuse, because you can feel like you're very alone, and I don't want anyone to feel like that. So if you're not in my group and you want to be, then please do comment or pop me a message and I can send you the link for that as well. So if you're watching this on replay, just put a hashtag replay. If you're watching it live, let me know you're listening and where you are listening. And I want to talk to you this evening, I suppose, about a subject I've been talking quite a bit about in the last week. I've been talking about it on my business page, I've been talking about it in the group, and it's something that is absolutely imperative to healing from narcissistic abuse. And what exactly is that? So what I want to talk about this evening is no contact, and what exactly the narcissist will do when you go no contact. Now, when you initially break up from the narcissist, it's really important that you go no contact or extreme modified contact if you have children, but there are absolute strategies and ways that you are able to do that, and it's a key factor in how that I coach my clients as well, to ensure that they still feel like they're being a good mum or a dad, but they are still putting their mental health first and not the children in the middle, and all of these back and forth messages, which is invariably what happens if you keep having contact. And the reason I know this is because I have been there, and probably for the first 2 years of my breakup and divorce, I would say it was back and forth, because the immediate thing that you want to do is to react. You know, if they say something horrible, you want to say something back, no this, no that, and all you're doing is going round in circles, because actually all you're doing is actually supplying the narcissist when you do that as well, and you're keeping them in this cycle of abuse all of the time. And the reason for that is because you have that addiction to the narcissist. About this addiction to the narcissist. So the hypothalamus in our brain will be releasing all of these chemicals, these peptides, to all the cells of our body, which become the norm to us whilst we're in that relationship. And then when we break away, our body still needs those peptides because we're addicted to them. So naturally we want to respond, we want to react, we want to kind of talk to them or engage in an argument, because then we release all of those peptides, and it's like a habit. And all the research has suggested as well that it can actually be 10 times more difficult to break the habit of a narcissist than it can heroin, which might seem really crazy to even think like that. But I certainly know when I came out of my relationship, it was incredibly hard, because my head was telling me, don't react, don't respond, don't do any of that. But actually, I just couldn't stop myself. I had to react. And it was a physiological reaction. So we often talk about the mental and emotional impact of breaking up with a narcissist, but not many people talk about the physiological aspect of that as well. And I did a video on this a few weeks ago. So you can either catch it on my business page, on my Facebook business page, or if you go over to my YouTube channel, Caroline Strawson, you can catch it on there as well. And it just explains a little bit more about the addiction to the narcissist. So this evening I want to talk about when you do go no contact, because it's really, really vital for your healing, because it's going to allow you time to focus on your healing. If you're constantly having a supply all of the time and you're back and forth, you're hindering how fast you can heal. And by going no contact or extreme modified contact, it's really, really going to help and accelerate your healing and recovery. So I've written down 7 things the narcissist will try to do when you try and implement. They are things he's not going to like it, or she's not going to like that you're doing no contact, because it means obviously they are losing some control. They're losing that supply. So there are 7 main things that the narcissist will try and do when you start to implement no contact or extreme modified contact as well. And if you ever need any help in knowing how to do that and the best type of strategies, then obviously pop me a message. I can either add you to the group, and obviously we speak about it in my private group quite a lot about how to go no contact. And then also one-to-one coaching with me, where I really look at a specific strategy for you with the parameters and getting to know you, your circumstances, how your ex is behaving, and how we can then formulate a no contact plan. And obviously what in those moments where you feel like you want to respond, you message me and we work through that together. So we work through that addiction of wanting to message together, so you're not on your own with all of that. So the first thing that the narcissist is going to do will be to make out they are the ones that have gone no contact. So when you decide to go no contact, what they will do is they will go around to tell everybody else, I'm blocking them on social media, I'm eliminating them from everywhere else, you know, I can't stand talking to them anymore because they're crazy. So they will be the ones that will make out that they have gone no contact with you. And the reason why they do that is because they know if they say that, it's going to really annoy you even more because you're the one doing it. But again, when they say that, it almost looks like they are the victim in all of this. And that's an incredibly hard thing when you're breaking up with a narcissist, because they act like the victim and it's like you are the crazy one, which is why many victims of narcissistic abuse start to question, are they the narcissist? But it's all about the projection from the narcissist onto you with this. So when you decide to go no contact, however you decide to do that, they will make out they are the ones doing that, blocking you on everything, you know, but telling everybody that they are doing that as well. You might go quietly into doing that. They will announce it, you know, so again, people will feel sorry for them. They will think they are the victim. First things that they will do. And because it gets you really angry, the natural reaction that you want to do is you want to message them and say, you know, how dare you do that? You know, I'm the one that's not going to speak to you. And then you start a back and forth, and then obviously you are supplying the narcissist. So that is one of the ways that they will try and manipulate and control you into responding with them again, making out that they are the ones that have gone no contact before you. So the second way that the narcissist will try and interact with you once you've decided to go no contact is they'll try and message you some way about meaningless situations. So just things enough to try and start a conversation with you. So it might be something like you're having a conversation with them and you're kind of immediately reacting to it, and then they'll say, oh, hold on a second, the phone's ringing, or there's somebody at the door. And then they will go off and you'll be thinking, where's the message? Are they going to come back? Are they not? And you're left dangling. That's where the power and control will start to come into play again as well. So what they will do is they will message you really meaningless things, or they will message you things about the children, you know, because they may know that obviously as mums in particular and dads, if you've got the children, that you know that probably the majority of our Achilles heel, really. It will be the one thing that would make us reconsider about messaging back, because it's about your children as well. And they will utilize that all the time and try and say, you know, have they got their rugby kit, or have they got this, have they got that? And it's again just a way to start engaging with you. And this is when you need to be very grey rock, no emotion. And if they are very specific questions that you need to answer about your children, it is one line. It is extreme modified contact with that. There's no emotion. There's literally minimal words in your response to the narcissist there, because they will try and try to keep sending you these messages, whatever means they can, to try and get you to engage. So it's supplying them again. And this is where we need to break that contact so you can focus on your healing and recovery. They will start to feel guilty. They will start to act like, you know, I'm really sorry that I've behaved like this. You know, I'm going to really try and be a better person. Maybe I'm going to start counselling. You know, maybe that, you know, everything you were saying is right. They want you to feel sorry for them. And we often know that many of us coming out of relationships with narcissists will have a lot of codependency issues, and also a lot of us are empaths too. So naturally, we do feel sorry for them to start off with. And that's a really hard cycle to break when you're breaking your addiction, and your natural instinct is you feel sorry for them. So when they are telling you all of these things, you know, maybe it was things about their childhood, for instance, they want you to feel sorry for them. And ultimately by that, you are going to engage back and forth as well. And it's just about control. You've got to realise engaging with them is just giving them more supply, and you need to focus just on yourself, of healing that inner trauma within you so that you can break that addiction, you can break that trauma bonding for you to move forward, because you deserve to be happy and you deserve to live a happier life as well. So the next one, number 4, they will guilt trip you then into feeling sorry for them, okay? And again, this is where they're going to really bring things up from their childhood, you know, because a narcissist, they normally say, we don't diagnose NPD, so narcissistic personality disorder, until someone is 18. But it's very difficult to get a diagnosis because it needs that for them to go and actually get a diagnosis. And obviously it's listed in the DSM, in the 4 and 5, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Health that we use for things like personality disorders as well. So narcissistic personality disorder is listed in there with all of the traits as well. But it's very difficult to get a diagnosis, because it's not like somebody who has a cold or a cough and you recognise that and you're going to go to the doctor and they will tell you that you have a cold and a cough. Because the narcissist won't wake up one morning and go, oh, I think I've got narcissistic personality disorder, I'm going to go to the doctors. Because it just doesn't happen, because they don't think anything is wrong with them. They are projecting it always onto you. But very often, narcissistic personality disorder is formed in childhood because of circumstances. And again, I know I've done another video about this, where very often it might be the golden child, so they're put up on this pedestal, you know, and they have this feeling of grandiosity all of the time, and they believe that they deserve all of this as well, you know, and that's one of the reasons, predominantly probably an overt narcissist you would see being like that as well. The other aspect then is a covert narcissist. So normally you tend to find covert narcissists, vulnerable narcissists, will be maybe those that have had a complete lack of love in their childhood for whatever reason that may be. So they may have had a lot of brothers and sisters, maybe they've been played off against brothers and sisters, maybe again their parents, there's a cycle of narcissism within the family as well. So they're just not getting any love. So they're always searching for something. And this is where the personality disorder can be formed, and there can be other triggers with regards to that as well. So if your narcissist has been telling you about that, or that they never felt any love, you're naturally going to feel sorry for them, and a narcissist will absolutely tap into that to apply going as well. So number 5, and I'm sure many of you watching will be able to relate to this, because it's probably one of the most common ones as well, and that's a smear campaign. So your narcissist ex will take it upon themselves to absolutely smear and trash your reputation. And this is one of the hardest ones to recognise, because you want to go around and speak to everybody that they have spoken to. You want to shout, you want to scream, you want everybody to know what sort of person they are, because they are out there portraying themselves as the big victim and smearing your reputation. I remember when I was going through mine, I thought, do you know what, I would love to take a billboard out somewhere and just paint it everywhere about what had happened, because again, they can portray themselves as the powerless, you know, and they're very good at twisting stories and rewriting history in their mind, and then that leaves you feeling like, how friends and family potentially thinking, well, maybe they are the crazy one, where you know you're not, but what do? Spend the rest of your life following them around, and everyone, that's how it was, this is how it was. And, you know, let me tell you, there's no point in you doing that. You can't control what the narcissist is going to go around and say. Trying to control that, it's just going to overtake your life, and you're never going to truly heal. Let them get on with it. Obviously, if they are overstepping the mark, then you can seek legal advice as well for defamation of character as well. But if they're just going around just saying bits and bobs about you that are just not nice, it's a hard thing to do, but you've got to learn to switch off to it and just focus on your healing. Because again, the more you direct, how dare you say that, or you start messaging them and say, don't you say that to my friend, don't you say that, stop saying all of these things, all you are doing in that scenario is you are feeding their supply. That's what they want you to do. I know every fibre and cell in your body is saying, message, how dare they tell you. If you do that, you're just going to slow your recovery down. Utilise other ways to release that pent up frustration and anger. Come in my group, the divorce and breakup support after narcissistic abuse. You know, message me, get some coaching, you know, surround yourself with those who you know that they know the truth about it. So you need to really cocoon yourself. Don't get involved, you know, switch off to it. As hard as I know that is, it's one of the hardest things when you know that they're going around, you know, smearing your reputation, and it really is. And I get it because I've been there and I know what it is like, but it will absolutely destroy you if you keep on focusing on that as well. People will make their own decisions regardless. Surround yourself and let them get on with it as well. Really do. So number 6. So they might have an incident in their life and suddenly start to message you about it as well. So that might be something like they're poorly, maybe they've lost their job, maybe they've lost a loved one, and they're going to use that as a little chink of door opening to start messaging you, to get you to feel sorry for them again, to try and maybe get back with you, or to try and get that supply going again so that they can feel like they've got that manipulation and control. It is not about the situation ever. This is about them always trying to maintain control over you because they want that constant supply. The more you message them, it's like you are fueling them. If you imagine you are the petrol pump in all of this, okay? And for you to heal and recover, you need to stay full. The petrol needs to stay within you. The moment you start to engage with your narcissist, you are giving them fuel, you are supplying them, and all of the fuel that you're trying to fill up inside of you is going down and down, and you are giving your power away to the ex. And what you really need to do is really make sure that you are focusing on yourself with all of this. So number 7, and the final one, this is about you moving on and replace. What they will do is they will move on really quickly. I have never really known a narcissist who hasn't already got somebody else lined up when they exit a relationship. No, they're not, but I pretty much guarantee that you would be able to gosh, the reading some of these comments is very interesting here as well. So what you would be able to do by doing this is see that they are just moving on really quickly. They won't not move on to somebody else. And if they're telling you they haven't found somebody else, I would hazard a guess at some stage you will find out they have. I know for me, when my ex left, it was about I need time for myself. And I knew deep down that that wasn't true or anything as well, you know, definitely. So bear with me 1 second. I'm just getting my laptop because we have a few interesting people who are making comments right now. So let me just get online and remove them. Where are we? Here you go. We know what it's like with technology, don't we? So sometimes I could remove them with my phone and everything as well. So let's have a look, because obviously on a Sunday night, 2 people are a little bit bored. A little bit entertaining though, I suppose, isn't it, for people watching as well. So let me scroll down and remove them. Here we go. Here we go. Let's remove that person. So apologies for this at the moment. Here we go. Confirm, that's 1 down, okay. Right, and the next person. So let's do the next person. Okay. Yeah, absolutely, Len. And that will happen at some stage, but the more you are supplying them, the more they're going to keep. So by knowing that, it's going to give you power, Len. And what you need to do is bring it back to you and stop the contact. And that is really going to help you heal and move on as well. So, hi, Natoni. Sorry, I'm just deleting some people who are putting some interesting comments on that. Actually, we had somebody on who was talking about butter everywhere. I don't know whether any of you were watching that one as well. We always tend to get a few interesting ones now and again. Let's have a look. Let me see. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, they've already gone. So they obviously knew I was going to do all of that. So let's have a look. Okay, so they've gone, which is good. So I will get back to what I was talking about. Yeah, I know WomenTthat is, they don't like that, okay? They don't want you to do that because they want to keep that endless supply. And this is where you have to realise, however broken you are at that time, that for you to heal, you have to go no contact or modified contact. You really, really have to. There are ways of doing it that still means that you have a channel of communication if you have children or anything. So Lisa, whether he is in relationship or not, he still insists on text. Try and not reply, but if it's about the kids, difficult. So my question then, Lisa, is who's actually deciding? For me, Lisa, I would say to you, you block him on text. You remove him from social media, you block him on text. So you send a message right now and you say, I will only communicate via email. You send the text and then you block. When he has the children, you can unblock, okay? Because that means just for a shorter period of time, you may end up with some messaging. Like I said, when I said about the number 2, where he might message you with meaningless situations or things about the children, okay? Other than that, he can email you anything. If you have the children, he can email you. They will not like that. And I understand that because it's a loss of control. That's why you don't send a message to say I'm going to block via text and you wait for the response back. You block. So if they're texting you, you don't know that. And if via email they start saying, no, I'm going to text, I can absolutely assure you, you go to any court in the world about the children and that is email, that is absolutely fine. They're not going to make you have text. They just aren't going to do that, particularly when you can talk about the reasons for your mental health as well, which is of vital importance in all of this. So Lisa, when he still insists on text, who's in control of how you communicate there? He is. It doesn't make any difference whether it's via email or text. It's the fact that he wants text and you don't. So that means he wants to continue doing that because it's the control there as well. You're not being a bad mum by blocking him on text. And let me make that perfectly clear, because I know so many of you feel like if you do that, you're being a bad parent. You're not. You're being a great parent because you recognise that to protect yourself, that's why you have to do that. So it's really, really important that you recognise that no contact and extreme modified contact is a huge part of your healing and recovery. It was one that I can talk about this from personal experience. And the moment I implemented this, it allowed me to start healing. It allowed me to focus, and it was like a great big weight had been lifted as well. So, oh, we've got Dante back, but I'm on it. I've got my laptop open now as well. So, right, let me find this Dante as well, so we can see all the comments. Oh, I can't see them on my laptop for some reason. Let me have a look. Right, what's his name? Dante. I'll just have to actually put it in the... Not Dante. I'm a little bit busy at the moment to do anything like that, as you can see. But I'm sure you can find somebody else this evening to do that. It's about, yeah, Carol, it's a bit of fun though, isn't it, on a Sunday night for people? Let's have a look. Right, here we go. Right, I can do it directly. There you go, blocked. I've got it on my phone as well. Yay. We'll get there. It does make me laugh when they do stuff like that. So, Luann, this is what I've done with my ex, and because he couldn't get hold of me, he got my son to call me and then pass the... Luann, again, what I would say to that, the moment, and this is where you need to think of your son in this scenario. So yes, they're blocked, but your son has a phone so he can call you. So your son calls you, you speak to your son, and then he passes the phone over. The moment he starts on you, you say, I'm going to hang up now, goodbye, and you hang up. okay? Because what you have to realise is you staying on the phone and having that conversation with your ex and he's shouting at you, you're getting really upset. Who's watching all of this? Your son. So you hanging up is because you're not supplying him anymore at all. So, okay, gosh, we have got a few this evening, haven't we? As well, but I'm on it now. I've got it all sussed on my phone, so it's easy to do. So the last one, for those that missed it, because we had a few interesting comments. I know it's a serious topic, but sometimes it's good to laugh as well, isn't it, in all of this? And that was about how quickly they move on and replace you with a new supply really, really quickly. Yeah, something as well. So quite interesting, isn't it? So yeah, it's really funny because sometimes we get this and sometimes we don't. So yeah, it's an interesting one. So yeah, they will move on really, really quickly. And sometimes that means you kind of feel like, did they ever love me? Did they ever think this? Did they ever think that? Because deep inside, you're kind of thinking, how can they move on so quickly? But what you have to remember is that they have their own issues. They are a narcissist. So what they need is that constant supply. And the moment they feel that it's going a little bit with you, they will go and find it from somebody else as well. So what you tend to find when you see two people break up in a narcissistic relationship is the narcissist will meet someone very, very quickly. Okay, whether that lasts or whether it will be someone else within a few months is irrelevant. But they will move on extremely quickly. If not, they will already have, even before they've exited the relationship. You are left broken. Can I trust again? Will I ever meet anybody again? All of that. And you are left all of these feelings of, I'm going to be on my own for the rest of my life. And you're dealing with all of that. You're dealing with trying to do no contact. You're dealing maybe if you've got children together. There's so many different things, maybe money, all of that. And it feels so hard, okay? And I understand all of that. But what you need to do to help yourself build your strength back up is go no contact or modified contact. It's such an important part of your healing. It's really, really difficult when you want to be a great mum or a great dad and you feel like you need to have some kind of fast communication method with them. But can you remember before we had mobile phones as well? Can they be in long term like mine and still be absolutely. My ex was a covert narcissist, Caroline. I was with him for 14 years and I've got ladies that I coach who've been with covert narcissists 27, 30, 35 years. So absolutely, there's no time frame in all of this. If you're supplying them in manipulating you as well, and there will be moments of good times as well. You know, when I think about my ex, you know, that we had moments where it was like, you know, this is great. But there will always be those moments again intertwined, and when you look back you can feel warning signs through. But again, because you will be codependent, because you will have been potentially an empath as well, you'll always try and make it work. You know, you will suddenly, it'll be your fault and you will want to make that work. So I hope that helps a little bit with 7 things that a narcissist will do when you go no contact, okay? Because they're going to be like children. They are not going to want that because it's you choosing to do that. You're the one in control doing that. You're stepping into your power, and they won't want that. They will want you to carry on texting. They will want you to carry on having communication. You know, they will want all of that because they still need that supply off you. And when you don't give it, they're going to up the game. They're going to maybe do a smear campaign. They're going to tell you some story about to try and get you to feel sorry for them. Maybe when they've got the children, that's when they're going to message you as well. But again, if they call you or message you, is it an emergency? No? Goodbye then. And hang up, okay? Because remember, before mobile phones, if there was an emergency, people would have got hold of you. They will get hold of you if they need to, if there was something like that, okay? So you really, really need to look at your space, healing yourself, okay? That's your number one focus in all of this. Really, really recognizing that no contact is important for your healing and recovery as well. And those 7 things that I've mentioned are going to be the things that the narcissist is going to try once you go no contact as well. So be prepared. Knowledge is power if you know what to do with it. So when they try and do all of this, you've got to remember my voice in your head saying, Caroline said that they would do that. And I've just got to stay focused because it's not actually what I think they are saying. This is just about getting a supply again, getting the control again. So I shouldn't feel sorry for them because actually this is part of a bigger picture that if I went back with applying them, or if I get back with them, it's just going to happen again because it's just about getting that control as well. So Beck, my ex has moved 9 hours away and has no issue with me not contacting him. It's awful as he has abandoned his daughter entirely. I mean, that's just heartbreaking, Beck. And again, we can't control what our ex-partners do, particularly when it comes to children. What you can show your daughter is a loving environment, you know, and empowering her to recognise that we're all human beings and he's a flawed human being, and it's just letting her know that that's one end of a spectrum and you're at the other end of a spectrum as well. And that can be incredibly hard because, again, giving her a sense of self-worth is going to be really vitally important in all of this, Beck, because what you don't want her to grow up with is those feelings of abandonment. So it's really important for you to really help to build up her self-esteem, her self-worth, for her to recognise what an incredible young woman she is and will go on to be, and that this was nothing to do with her dad leaving her. This was about him. Totally about him, not her. So it's just you showing her love and security in the home so that she knows that it was not her fault. It was nothing to do with her. This was about what he did. And it's heartbreaking when these things happen. You know, because none of us, let's face it, go into a marriage or a relationship and have children with somebody expecting this to happen. You know, and particularly like for myself, you know, I've said I grew up with Ladybird books, you know, happily ever after with your Prince Charming and everything else. And then you kind of think, God, what's that all about? You know, so thank you, Caroline. Just what I needed. I'm going to go back and rewatch. Great. And again, you know, you're clearly doing an amazing job. You know, you are all doing an incredible. Say to you, you are doing a great job, because I know lots of us want this epiphany that they're going to suddenly say, do you know what? You are a great mum. You are a great dad. I do recognise all of this. I'm really, really sorry. Don't keep waiting for that, because that's not happening. Focus on yourself instead. So take care, everybody. Have a great week. Remember, if you're not in my group, Divorce and Breakup Support After Narcissistic Abuse, just comment below and I can pop you over the link so you can come in there as well, because we often have lots of other conversations afterwards, and that's a private group. This is my public business page as well. I will be back next Sunday night at 8 o'clock as well. So, and if any time you want me to do any topics that I haven't done previously, please feel free to drop me a message so that I can schedule it in and we can talk about it, you know. And at any time, if any of you feel like you need any one-to-one help at all, you're really, really struggling, you want to really accelerate your recovery as well, you know, I've been where you are, absolutely at rock bottom. So not only have I been there personally, you know, professionally, I coach people lots of these strategies as well. And then I use positive psychology, because ultimately my goal for you all is not to just get back to functioning and the humdrum of everyday life. I want you guys to flourish. You know, we're on this earth for a short period of time, and ultimately I want you to make the most of it. Yes, it's a rubbish time when you're coming out of a relationship with a narcissist, but it's all the lessons that we can learn in the process for you to then move on. And I genuinely mean that as well. So take care, everybody. Have a fantastic week. And just know I'm always at the end of a message. I'm always within my group as well. And, you know, together, I want you to know you're not alone going through all of this as well. So take care.